start of the first varsity race between Columbia and Navy. Both crews quick off the start. Navy rowing at a 49. Columbia rowing at 47. It appears that as they get to the point, Navy has a 1-seat advantage over Columbia. Navy definitely rowing high. Still right at 48. The Navy 2-man looking over at the bow ball for Columbia, and they're definitely looking to get as much advantage as they can here off the start. Navy rowing now lengthening into a 42 with Columbia out of lane 3 at a 37. Navy's continuing to gain momentum as they're starting here quite a bit higher than Columbia off the start. Still rowing at a 38. Let's see if they can shift into a nice long base. They're definitely looking like they're making some moves. Navy Coxon looking at the 2-man for Columbia. That seems like they both match sort of an even speed as Navy settles out. Navy rowing at a 37. Let's see if they can shift out, get a little bit longer. Definitely rowing out quite long, but maybe just a little bit too fast. Let's see how this really gets into it. Columbia out of lane 3 has settled into a 35. Definitely crossing over into a headwind as we cross the 500-meter mark at 124 for Navy. Half a seat, 2/3 of the length advantage over Columbia. Definitely moving inch by inch. Navy getting a lot of acceleration off the finish. Rowing here, let's see if we can get a stroke rating at a 35.5. Definitely a long and strong 35.5 for Navy. 36 for Columbia. Pushing into it. The Navy Coxon looking at the bow man for Columbia. Getting inches off of each stroke. They're definitely progressing through. Rowing, getting every inch they can out of every stroke. Navy still locking in 35.5 with the Coxon for Navy looking at the bow ball, screaming bow ball to his crew to get some motivation to see how much kind of a margin they can get as they just crossed the 750-meter mark right here. Navy rowing at a 35.5. Columbia still being patient at a 36. They're definitely staying in with it with Navy. Navy's Coxon still looking over at the bow ball, and it almost seems like Columbia making a little bit of a move, and he's gotten about a half a seat back on Navy. Now Navy has responded. There they go and take a move here. Kicking it up to a 36 beats a minute. Definitely walking out. Now Navy bow to stern with Columbia as they approach the 1,000-meter mark. Let's see how long they can hold this move. See as much margin as Navy. Open water now on Columbia as we approach the 1,000-meter mark. Navy crossing the line. Columbia crossing 3:01. That's the move. Looks like Columbia's going to start getting into Navy a little bit. Columbia getting just over a seat backward. Columbia's 1 seat from open water from bow to stern on Navy. Navy Coxon looking over at the Columbia crew. See if they can respond. Both crews matching even speed. With Navy rowing a little bit higher now at 36.5 beats a minute. Taking a seat back now on Columbia. 1 seat from bow to stern on Columbia. Just rowing out of lane 3 at 35 beats a minute. 750 meters left to go in the race. Let's see if Navy can buckle down. Now bow to stern with Columbia. Rowing at 35.5 and definitely starting to walk. About a half a seat of open water on Columbia as we approximately 650 meters left in the race. This would be the prize point for Columbia to start rowing into Navy, but it appears that Navy's holding them off. With your 550 meters left in the race. There goes Navy. As we approach the 500-meter mark, crossing the line at 4:32.5 unofficially. Columbia crossing at 4:37. Navy with 1 seat of open water advantage. Definitely going to see who's able to sprint a little bit better here. Navy kicking it up a little bit. Clocking them in at 38 beats a minute. Columbia is definitely surprisingly strong as we approach this last little bit here. Maintaining on with Navy, rowing at 37 beats a minute. Navy maintaining 1 seat of open water advantage over Columbia as we approach 300 meters left in the race. Navy rowing at a 39. Now has 2 seats of advantage over Columbia, definitely walking through. Navy crosses the 250 meter mark, now into the red buoys. Let's see what kind of advantage both these crews can get. We have Navy rowing at 38 beats a minute, 40 beats a minute. Columbia rowing at a 39, so almost matching into the sprint pace here as Columbia looks to be moving back slightly into Navy. Navy bow to stern with Columbia as we approach the last 20 strokes of the race. Navy at a 41. Columbia appears to lengthen out to about a 39 as we approach the finish line here. Here we go, Navy crossing the line at an unofficial time of 6:05. Columbia crossing the line at unofficial time